the last episode that I was on, for instance, last week, I think should count as more than the experience of one pod. Like, you know how sometimes you'll work a year on the job site, right? You'll work a year on a job. That's a weird way of wording it. You'll work a year on a job, and on paper, it'll be a year of experience.
Guys never worked, but yeah.
Sorry?
He's never held a real job before.
Oh, sure. Well,
a year is the limit, the maximum limit.
So the way that it works for most people is if you hold a job for a year, that's a year of experience. However, there are certain things which you could do, which, you know, anyone in the know might look at and say, fuck, he held a job at whatever firm. These guys, you know, I don't know, at Amco Inc., damn, they really mean business. That's, in my mind, that's worth 3 years of working for any other company.
Oh, the name of the company versus the amount of time.
Sure, I'm saying the nature of the work.
Got it.
Is what is actually, you know,
I hear you.
is what is actually conducive to, you know, showing whether you have any real experience or not. And my point is this: last week, I think although it was only one podcast episode, the amount of work I had to put in to keep up with, you know,
my ideas,
the ideas and the dynamic, the pace of it, that was a lot. So that's maybe worth like 5 podcasts, you know? I'm going to try to dial in a little bit more here. I'm hoping that you've come with a little bit of a more, you know, concise list.
I believe it
Something
is.
a little bit more, you know, on, I don't know, just on point.
Before we get to the list, though, we need to know something. What has Adam done this past week? Where have you been? What have you been doing? I heard
Have
that
you been let out of your house since the last pod is what I'd like to know. Because again, from my optical point of view, I see you walk up to the studio with Pantelis, and I asked him, did you pick him up? Because I legit, okay, fair, but you understand why I might have assumed that, right? Because from my
never seen him
perspective,
existing on his own.
From my perspective, it felt like maybe it was a situation where he's let out of his jail cell, I don't know, or whatever. When Pantelis says, let's go, it's showtime. And you're just a caged lion, maybe, performing for the masses. I don't know. That's the dynamic.
Well, listen.
That is kind of what you
Even
are,
though I didn't want to advertise this, I mean, the world already knows, the world of listeners, I have to be home at 10 p.m. I'm a free man in the day. The first part of the bullshit, which was kind of unpleasant, is over. Now the second part is going to be over in a few months, and so let's try not to reflect back.
Probably for the best that we keep you out of, you know, establishments in the world when alcohol is served, and keep you out of bars. We want to keep alcohol out of the mix of whatever this is.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to help.
We can't have you out in the world after 11 p.m.
Yeah, actually, that's a great thing that the government is doing, is keeping you off the fucking streets.
Yeah.
But what'd you do this week? Because
it's almost like he's a criminal and he's incarcerated. It's almost like he's a convicted felon.
I'm not...
Because there's some good news. People will be happy to hear this.
There is some good news. I found a job.
Yeah, hold on.
Congrats.
Yes.
Opa.
I don't want to go into too much details. You have to respect that there's an element of privacy. That
But to be fair, when do you ever? Can you give any inkling as to what the job is?
I
What info are you able to...
I work as a private chauffeur.
If I was them, I could not ever hire you for that job. It seems like something very, very bad is going to happen to those passengers.
Listen, there's an expression that says the jury is out, right? Well, we'll see what the jury
That's not the correct answer, by the way. Fuck it, let's see what happens is not the thing you want to say when you're driving people at high speed.
You're right.
What times are you on the job, typically?
I'd
What
rather
hours
not
are you on
get
the
into
clock?
that, but I work
Daytime,
5 hours
nighttime?
a day. Daytime, 5 hours a day.
Daytime.
Yeah.
Okay, does it interfere with the European football schedule?
It might,
It
because
might.
it starts around early
If
7,
you're
8
referring to the
o'clock.
Champions League,
Yeah, 7, 8
possible.
o'clock.
Well,
And
you
then
know, because we got to make sure that it doesn't overlap with or take away from or cannibalize the other core business, which is the sport betting.
well, because
I knew you were going I did a good job in reading your mind. It's Dortmund against Real Madrid, eh? I'm sure
that's
you
the
know.
final. So the final's gonna be on a Saturday, so he's gonna be good.
Are you suggesting that I was going to ask what I thought you thought was going to happen in the Champions League final? Because I was respectful. I was not. But
No, he's
I was
just-
going to
I
ask
had
for
a
your
gut feeling.
I was going to
You
ask
know?
for your read on it.
So he is gonna miss some soccer games a day just because his shift it starts kind of early, 7, 8 a.m. He's got to get the job done, but then he's got to do the return trip around 3:30, like 3:15. You know, the bell rings differently in different locations, so that's kind of
It's money time.
Yeah, and when the game starts, like around sometimes 1 or 2, so he won't be able to watch the full games, but he could still bet while driving.
I like
Female
the idea
volleyball
that
team.
you would that you would maybe be listening to like international broadcast radio. That's not illegal.
Whoa,
You're not.
yeah,
You're off
yeah.
your phone. You're just driving erratically while you're hearing the play-by-play.
That's what I do.
Hey, there are ways. You got to get creative. How bad do you want it?
Your imagination is more vivid than mine. I never thought about that. I never did.
Well, I beg to differ. I saw your list last week, and that was very imaginative. It was very. It was from outer space, is what it was.
Yeah, there's a word. It lacked fluidity. It was like you were right.
Yeah, it was
We're
from
talking
outer
about
space.
10,000 Okay,
It was
fine.
very creative. We were making up boundaries, and it was fluid. It was all over the place.
And I relabeled it after I gave the original title, which was a bad one. So.
Have you been to psychiatry ever? Do they maybe like send you to some kind of therapist when
Actually,
you're
yeah.
a criminal?
I think when I was in grade 7.
Okay, but
I
that's
don't remember.
But that's okay.
I had a small handful of
Like a
appointments.
guidance counselor type of thing.
It was just listen. Do the math. I'm 46. I was 13 at the time.
Okay.
You asked me what, you know how I
it
felt
was a while
about
ago.
how,
Here's
you know,
here's the reason.
myself and-
Here's the reason for my asking is
Go ahead.
I do think it would be kind of fun to see a psychiatrist who has 10 years of school under their belt. To practice clinically, you need to have you're basically a doctor, right? You're a brain doctor. You're a mind doctor.
They're medical doctors.
Sure.
And
So you need to have
additional
done a
training.
lot. And then they wind up sitting in a room with you, which I'm doing now, right? They just wind up sitting in a room, talking to you one-on-one, just pulling their fucking hair out.
Possibly.
I could see
depending on
that
the
being,
subject.
They can't pull his out.
Anyway, you had a question for me.
Well, I guess I'll leave it in an open format. Do you am I close to the truth when I say that that's not exact? Actually, there are two questions.
The way that you formulate sentences, by the way, is fascinating. Am I
Yeah.
close to the truth?
When I say that it is not a priority right now, you have gone. Let's say that this is what the labor layer path, and now you went kind of 45 degrees left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
That was my question. Okay. And the second question
Wait,
was.
that was a question?
Yeah, he
Am I
does this
close
to me
the
all the time.
truth? Sorry. Am I close to the truth when figuring what I just figured?
That's another weird way of wording a sentence. Am I close
I
to
don't
the
know
truth
why I
when I
have
say
some trouble saying stuff at times.
you
How
would have been
phrased it?
ironic? You would have been a good you might have been a good courtroom prosecutor. You know?
I've been
You
told
always
that,
ask these weird open-ended questions. Am I close to the truth?
How about this?
He turned into
it's
a,
almost like I feel like I'm a witness getting like cross-examined.
Instead
Am I
of
close
co-
to the truth when
You know what he turned
other
into?
way, I think-
He turned instead of a courtroom prosecutor, you turned into a backroom prostitute.
Damn, I was just about to say different.
Am I close to the
Does
truth?
it stand to
Is
reason
what you were saying?
that it is not exactly a high priority of yours to become a labor lawyer?
I will.
Simple.
It was never a high priority of mine to become a labor lawyer. Yeah, I mean, if it were a high,
Because you studied that in university, so I surmise.
I studied labor relations. I could have studied law. I didn't study law. Had I begun studying law, I probably would have finished it. But I never started.
Oh,
yeah,
I see, okay.
I studied labor relations. Yeah, no,
makes sense.
I that would have been the next logical step. But yeah, no, I don't know what to tell you. You want to know more about my academic career?
Because Adam just put the mirror in front of you. He deflected. So you were asking him about his week and his new job. And before we got started, he quickly deflected to you.
I answered your
he's
question.
a psychological
Yeah.
I
manipulator.
answered your
Right, right.
question.
No, you didn't. What did you do all week and how's the job and all that stuff? You didn't answer any of it. What you did is
I'm
was
happy
like-
you pointed that out.
Okay,
I see what
okay.
you're doing here. What you were doing was you were
And I
saying,
have
"Hey,
no-
kid, you could have been making a lot of money. Where did you go wrong? Why are you doing this? Why are you talking to me right now?" That's almost like something that you would ask before you fucking kill someone.
There is a guy out of Las Vegas. There's a YouTube video. I've never seen it. There's an office full of people that are, I guess you could call them bookies.
Backtrack.
Yeah.
There's a video in Las Vegas.
There's a video of an organization
you've-
going on in Las Vegas.
And you've never seen the video.
No.
How do you know
These
about
are-
the existence of the video? That's crazy.
Because there's a guy that I go to a bar a lot and we talk about that stuff.
So you're relaying secondhand
Yes.
that a video exists. So someone told you about a video.
Right.
You didn't watch the video, and now you're telling me about the content of that video.
Yes, but hold on. Let me explain. He gave me the gist of the principles, regardless of me having watched or not watched the video. It was a little bit, I wasn't clear here. Okay,
Someone at a bar told you,
a waiter.
Oh, wait.
okay, so a person, a third party,
A person I know
a
well because I go there
random.
often. Not a random.
So a waiter told you.
All right.
Hang on, but I'll play the waiter. Okay, you're Adam. I'm the waiter.
shoot.
Hey, bro, I'm your waiter. How you doing? Yeah, bro, I was watching this video this one time in Vegas about these guys that gamble professionally, and it's really intense. That's it. And now you're telling me there's a video online that talks about how intense professional gambling is. You have not seen this video, to be clear.
I can't believe I only just thought of this now. That was not the person who told me about the video. Sorry, my apologies. This is just a way you go to a bar on a regular basis, you become friends. He actually left Montreal to go to Toronto because, as you know, yes, they have the casino there, but you can't play slot machines. If you tell yourself you don't want,
I don't know that.
I don't know what you're talking
You said,
about.
as you know,
sorry,
I do not know.
I
have no
I
idea what
think
you're talking
most
about.
people, to be fair, respectfully,
Okay, no problem.
probably do not know
No
about the
problem.
provincial differences
Right, that's true.
in terms of legality
How
of
would they
all the
know?
different nuances of a gambling establishment.
Yeah,
I
think
didn't know
most
that
people
slot
know.
machines is where they draw the line.
Yeah. Anyway, the bottom line is there are no slot machines in bars in Toronto.
I'm just trying to gauge, like,
No problem.
how into that world you are.
Right.
You
Oh,
know?
he's heavily
So-
into that world.
Well, no, but that's what you're telling me that, but I'm hearing it secondhand. I've never seen you gamble. I'm rolling with it here because I'll accept it as fact.
You
but
haven't seen him
try to
gamble
gauge-
because he's not a good gambler. He's on a losing, like a heavy, you know, people go on streaks. He's been on a losing streak for what is it now, 34, 30, 45 years?
Do you gamble every day?
No, he's
Gamble-
been losing too much. He
Once a
doesn't
week,
count.
sometimes 2 times.
So you gamble
Listen,
every
your
week.
little mise au jeu, you know your minimum is $2. It's not
That's
like
your minimum, but that's not your maximum.
Is that what
It's
you're?
not my minimum, and I'm just explaining.
What's
the
your
Yeah, but
minimum.
that's
What's your
nothing to
minimum?
say.
What's your minimum? What's the unit for you, just for fun?
5 or 10.
Okay, well that's not too.
Yeah.
Twice a week.
I'll do the math, okay? Let's say sometimes I play more than one ticket, okay? A 5, and a 10. I might play $20. You know what I mean? One $5 ticket.
number keeps going
another
up.
$5.
I'm telling you,
Let me
that's
explain.
what happens when you talk to these
A
guys.
how it
$5
starts.
ticket, another $5 ticket, and a 10.
Yeah.
So that's 20. Okay?
All right.
I might do that twice a week. That's $40 a week. Does that make me a sinner in terms of, needing to go to Gamblers Anonymous? That's just, I'm coming forward.
But yeah, I've noticed something about you, and you do this on this podcast a lot.
Yes.
You always, we always ask you questions, and then you go, "Am I bad? Am I a sinner? Am I
that
this?
so
am I that?"
wrong?
You realize we are
I
not
know.
judging you.
For a half second, I was left alone in here, and I thought this is probably fine because I know Pantelis. I've seen the show before, but you do have like a normal human instinct that kicks
Right,
in.
you never know what's
when you're
really
with a
going
strange
on.
man who starts to giggle. That's all.
Like
who
that,
says
right?
who says something along the lines of, "Yeah, I'm gonna put you under the floorboards." With some people think Guido's under the floorboards, and now Poseidon's gone, and who knows? Now we're together. Like when there's just a normal reaction
I get it.
that you'll have when you'll say, "Stay the fuck away from me," even if it's just for a half second. Then you recalibrate and you go, "No, I know why I'm here. We're
it.
probably
I got
fine.
it. I got
I could
it."
probably take you in a fight. I'm probably faster than you in a foot race."
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So
But
then
he's more
I calm down.
aerodynamic.
So
Gotcha.
But you can. So that was my reaction last week.
Right.
Come on, he's on house arrest. He's got a house. He lives somewhere. He ain't homeless.
Well, he's living with that dude that we talked about last week.
Exactly.
We got to kill that guy.
Now,
But hang
I
on,
know
hang on. I take that back. There's a good chat. Wait, hang on. This is satire.
Yeah,
This is
'cause if
satire.
Adam kills him,
I'm
you're
a
getting
comic.
blamed.
I'm speaking. Extra fucking.
metaphorically, not literally.
Whatever. Extemporaneously. Okay, I'm not. If Adam does anything, I don't know. I only see this guy ever here. I have no communication with him at all.
So you have a list, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I think we're getting into my wheels are turning now. Let's get into the list.
All right. Anytime you guys are ready.
I'm ready, Adam. Here's the thing. I'm gonna preface this by saying this is a long fucking title. I feel like you still haven't realized what the list is. But let's go. This week's top 5.5 optimal means of feeling good both mentally and physically.
So things.
Things you like. Things that
Things-
make you tick. Things that make you feel good. You know?
That would have been a better list. Things that make you
Things you like is still too vague. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Number 5, playing mise au jeu, which is sports gambling for my American listeners.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I will gladly explain why I gave this answer. You may or
But
may
that's twice in a row. That's 2 weeks in a row. That the first one, you're a degenerate gambler. You must be. You have the brain of a gambler, even if you don't have the financial means to do it. You're betting
Did I
20
not?
bucks. Hold on. You're betting 10 or 20 bucks, but you have it in your soul. You want to be a degenerate gambler. The first thing on every list is gambling. You keep it vague, yet specific enough that gambling is kind of a bit of a deep cut. But it's gambling first. Last week you said things. What even was it last week?
Hebrew
well,
pastime.
Places
misread
you
my
go to
handwriting.
relax. And you said casino. Now this
I
week,
did.
things you enjoy. Gambling, mise au jeu, sports betting. Come on, man. Pull it out.
I will gladly
Go
ex-
deeper into the
thing
embers
is,
of your brain.
I will gladly explain to you from A to Z why I gave that answer, okay? You
did it last week. Just cut and paste last week.
Okay.
Makes you feel
I'll
relaxed.
give you 2
Just cut and paste last week.
Okay.
Makes you feel
All
relaxed.
right.
Endorphins, serotonin dump into the brain. We all
So
know
you
the
know all about
psychology of
that.
gambling. Yeah.
Okay, good for you, good for you. So it makes me feel good. What do you want me to tell you?
Hey, you're doing
I'm
it
not-
again. I'm a degenerate. What can you say? Hey, it's who I am. Yeah, I'm a sick, perverse motherfucker. Guilty as charged. That's your essence. That's your essence.
I wouldn't use those words, but whatever.
No, of course not. I'm being hyperbolic, but you understand that that's the tone. That it, that I don't know. When you use that tone, I guess it kind of conveys that which I just said. I don't know, Matt. Whatever. Again, I'm different. I
Well,
keep it
let me-
simpler.
let
No,
me-
but hang on. Things that I like
Yeah.
to do. Go to the barber.
Number 4, looking at sports stats on ESPN websites.
The same thing. It's all tied into the same thing. You're gonna be fucking on your phone. Best case scenario, you get one of those nerd like things that you pin to the glass onto the windshield, but you're gonna be on your phone sport betting within a month.
And I'm not denying any of that. I just,
Kid, would you like to look at the camera and say that this is all satire and you're speaking extemporaneously so that if you kill anyone in your car, you have a corroborative alibi? Would you like to do that? Look at the camera right there, Adam.
Number 3, going to the gym.
do you see the commonality?
I
You're
see
doing
that you
things
don't go
make
to the gym,
you
is what I
feel
see.
Good.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, whichever. You know.
It makes people who go to the gym feel good.
I don't know why this is your list, though.
Listen,
Do you go to the gym?
I used to.
Okay.
It's been about 5 years now since I haven't.
Real juice.
Were you ever tight and fucking cut?
When I was actually, here's an interesting story. When I was 15, I had a trainer. So
Were you playing a sport?
How much can you train when you're 15?
Were you playing a sport? Was it like
no.
a volleyball trainer, a tennis trainer, or something?
No.
You just hired a private trainer at the age of 15?
Yeah.
Okay. And
It lasted about a year.
yeah, I don't know. Might have been a little much too soon because by the looks of it, you didn't maintain it into
No, I
the
didn't.
rest of your adulthood. Be a-
Off and on, I mean,
Okay.
what can I say?
and you found it to be relaxing. Yeah, the gym works. Yeah, it does make you feel good. It's one of those things you got to get over the hump of, right? But here's what I like about going to the gym is when I go, I feel like I conquered myself, which is nice. You know what I'm saying? So not only do you have like the positive chemical reaction, but you also feel like you're in control of your mind. You know what I'm saying? You train your mind to go to the gym, something which by the looks of it, by the sound of it, you know nothing about anymore.
And a well-known fact: when you move your body, it makes you feel.
And you know what happens when you maybe don't go to the gym or do other things that kind of naturally, will I guess kind of create like an equilibrium of chemicals in your brain and lead to you being, stable and feeling
When
good
you
regularly.
don't go to the gym or when
yeah,
you do?
no. But you know what happens when you don't do that and like eat well, right? All things that like help, the chemicals in your brain. You'll thrill seek. You'll do things like, gamble. You'll do other stuff.
Oh, that's actually
Yeah,
true.
it's an interesting way of looking at it. but
Well,
yeah.
we'll go to the next item on the list, which goes the opposite route. Number 2, going to the bar and having a drink.
There is a link between my gambling, yes. You watch your sports on the internet, you play your bet, and you go to the bar and you watch your game.
You play slots at the bar.
Sometimes.
What, are you a drinker or are
We're
you
on
a
a-
gambler?
we're on a
What are we doing
tangent
here?
here.
What's the vice? You got two
I
vices?
drink. You know what? I've already told this to several people. My father died because he had liver disease, so no, I don't drink very often.
So when you go to a bar, you're not drinking much.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're playing slots. You're gambling.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
I think we just did.
think we know.
You
I
just
think-
told us. So 3 for 4 gambling. I like that you just threw Jim in there. Just throw us for a bit of a loop,
Yeah.
Throw us off the scent. Hey, they'll maybe think I'm kind of disciplined, and then, hey, but bar, I'm a
Yeah, he
regular
keeps-
guy who likes bars. But you just got to dig one. That, by the way, you cracked immediately there. What do you do at the bar? You drink, you play slots once in a while. Case closed.
Yeah, I fear for you. You will crack under pressure, as Joe Pesci said. And now you're going to love this one because he likes throwing us for a loop. The number 1, partaking in a sport. My top sports are swimming and tennis.
Remember the commonality, right?
kinda the same as going to the
I don't
gym,
have to
though.
defend myself here. I
No,
gave you
you-
stuff that makes people feel good.
No one's. I like that. Makes people feel good. I don't play tennis, but it makes other people feel
Well,
good.
my example is those two
okay.
sports.
You play tennis?
I remember in your pod.
You
when
struck
I
me
was
as
a
more of a
kid-
pickleball
when I was
guy.
Yeah.
when I was a kid. No, I played tennis when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's been many years. And I know from your podcast that you played hockey when you were like 10 years old, right?
I
probably haven't talked about that for like maybe a year ago. Gee, I don't know. When did
He's
you...
doing his
One
research on you.
podcast. It was called Gambling Scams. Now, I don't know how good your memory is, what you said when, but
Okay, did I talk about that
you were
recently?
talking about your father, how I'm not sure if I could beat him. Is he...
Keep my family out of this. I might be revealing too. This is where you realize you got to be a little bit careful about what you reveal on the podcast. Now, again, I know you mean well. Again, I kind of know who you are, but if out in the real world you started to say, "Oh yeah, you know, your father, anything," just say you're just talking to me, saying, "Hey, your father," right there.
Touched me.
Alarm bells. My guard's up. I go, "Whoa, where's this going?" Never mind the fact that I might have alluded to my dad on a podcast. Right off the bat, guard is up.
Fair
You're
enough.
very,
Fair enough.
very specific. Just you played hockey when you were a kid, and your father. But I didn't even let you finish. You said my father, and I said, whoa, guards up. What did I say on my podcast? Remind me, because I don't remember what I said on my podcast a month and a half
I have
ago.
a good memory.
This week's half. Reading a book.
Read any books lately?
It's been a while, actually.
Doesn't
This
surprise me.
is for other people. Things that make other people feel good.
Yeah, not
You
all.
see people reading. Sometimes you do. I'll bet that makes them
They
feel
look
good.
like they're having fun.
They look like they're bettering themselves. What was the last book you read?
Actually, here's a crazy story. Someone left a book on a public bus, on a city bus. It's
You're the guy
it's
who
a
takes
doctor.
those, huh?
It's I don't know if it's a PhD or no, it's an MD. The guy's name is Martin Cantor.
You stole the guy's book? You didn't go to the fucking Lost
Martin
and Found?
Cantor.
He
I got your
talks about
book.
deviant sexual personalities. I'm not joking.
Was that the title of the book?
Yes.
So right away, Adam's like,
This is
jerk
up my-
off
this is up
material.
my
It's
alley.
really hard to
Yeah.
understand. I read
This
maybe
is
3
up my
chapters.
They
alley.
won't let me buy porn anymore.
I'll
So
be taking that to my lair.
Oh, has anybody, speaking of hockey, does anyone know the
Oh,
author?
stop. We're not deviating. What happened with your sexual deviant behavior?
Did you learn anything about yourself?
Very hard to understand. Well, maybe. But okay, like everybody says, there's certain things that are private, okay?
No, just say it.
Okay.
It's a
talks
clinical
about
book.
How people, okay, I'll be honest. It talks about how there are certain kinds of people that view sexual activity as something it's like a real faux pas. It's a real taboo. And it explained what goes on in their brain, how, all the...
But our question was, what did you learn about yourself? And you said you learned about yourself that some people view sex as a faux pas. Are you one of those people? Or are you...
Fine.
Hang on, is it a thing that you learned about yourself? No, hold on. Did you once engage in coital affairs and I don't know, did someone like make a snide remark or something and it stayed with you and
All right.
now you're realizing, hey, maybe that person just viewed sex as a faux pas?
I'll answer you indirectly. Do you remember what my name was as on Instagram?
The pornographic conservative.
I'm not joking. I heard that nickname.
Okay, so
yes,
You're
to
a bit
certain
of a
extent.
prude.
Thank
Yes.
you. That's a very good word, and that's a word I use sometimes myself.
You know that can you know what doesn't really work with strange women, who you might meet at like a school or something, who you want to try to
Would or
woo?
would not work?
No, wouldn't.
Okay.
What wouldn't work if you're trying to woo a young lady in the wild is like coming across as like everything you got going on, right? Which is like overly descriptive sentences and everything, but also just maybe a bit of a prude. Like there's not even an upside. Like, hey, this guy might be a freak, There's nothing in it for her. There's not even good sex in it for her. You gotta let loose a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
The fact that you're not into that thing,
You gotta let on
is
at
a
least.
deterrent,
Maybe
is a
like
deterrent.
listen, you got all this going on for you, right? Maybe you gotta at least just add to the cocktail the fact that if nothing else, at least you're a sexual deviant.
Yeah.
Maybe that could kind of work. Because here's the thing, I think people might suspect that you are anyway. You could actually be
sexual deviant.
Yeah, but you may be the polar opposite. And you're so noble that you're the opposite. You view it as I don't know.
You'd make a
faux pas.
very good sexual deviant.
I'll tell you what.
But I
You
think a lot
look
of
the
people might
part.
assume
let me
it.
state some facts here, and then we'll
You
do
also,
an analysis.
but he also sounds the part.
Yeah, you sound and look the part.
Because you justify sentences a little bit. It's more like, hey, I'm a deviant. What do you want? Is that so bad?
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
eating your ass. What's wrong with that? That's kind of what you give off. So you may as well lean into it.
I remember Poseidon had no problem telling me like something like, "Hey, when's the last time you jerked off and how often and all that?" And I'm like, "Come on, those are not appropriate questions on this."
But
podcast.
that does you not wanting to talk about them doesn't mean you're not a sexual deviant, because it's what you do that makes you a deviant,
Yeah.
not what you talk about.
You don't have to be proud of it. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of sexual
Okay,
deviants are
I
deeply
would-
ashamed of it. You're basically telling the world that you're kind of a little bit sexually repressed. It's so out there. So it's one thing for you to say, I don't think we should talk about sex or jerking off, but you're saying to the world, I'm a pornographic conservative. But it's not even ironic.
You can thank Poseidon for that, not me.
You still went with it. What was it his idea? You know, the gun to your head.
No, because he said it once. Says I'm pornographically conservative.
Actually, that's true.
That's a great line.
And Poseidon
Pornographically conservative is a great
You know
line.
the expression, taking the baton, he ran
But what
with
is
it.
pornographic? What is conservative pornography? Is it just like cream pie every time, like just like aiming for procreation?
I never thought about it at such a deep level.
She did.
You avoiding
All right.
the question? All right. Anyway,
Intellectuals out.